Well, Hurricane Dorian truly transformed the way the Bahamas prepares and responds to a natural disaster.
Hurricane Matthew tore through this part of the Caribbean last night. The wind and storm surge was so powerful, boats were smashed onto the shore.
Show you this. Hello? Anybody here?
Over the years, storms ravages our islands, basically taking away everything. When you think of the Bahamas, you think about the sun, the sand, and the sea. Every year, we watch the tropics. Every year, we hope the next storm changes direction. But living in the Bahamas means understanding one reality. It's not a matter of if, it's when. We've seen homes destroyed, families displaced, and entire islands changed overnight. Tonight, we look back at the storms that shaped us, the warnings many ignored, and what every Bahamian needs to know before hurricane season begins. This is Before the Storm.
Man, y'all hang in there, keep your head high. Let me know how you're doing anytime you can. Everybody down here is worried about you. All your friends here.
Yeah, everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. We can keep in touch. Wind's starting to pick up now, so got to get hunkered down here and try and stay out of this.
Hang in there, my friend. We're all still thinking about you.
Hey, Don. We're about to get into the eye end a little bit. So, you know, a little rough patch here for the next hour.
And man, just give me a thumbs up if you're okay. That's all I need.
There's nothing that I can say as of this point that can actually explain how devastating this island is compared to where this island was first before Dorian hit. I lost all three of my children and my husband. And I was missing for about 3 days. I was stuck between two lampposts. I remember this quite clearly. And both of them, they're squishing my pelvis. It's just squishing. So right then and there, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna allow these two poles to sink me? Are these two poles, that is a thing, are they gonna sink me, or I'm gonna take control of the situation? So right then and there, it was about what my husband had taught me and what I know that I can do. I needed to survive, and that's what I did. You know, failing was not an option for me. So I slept out here for a while. I slept out here for at least about 2 days. Well, a day here and then the rest was in the water. And then I found my way out. My husband taught me how to navigate. I was able to find my way out, but I wasn't as close here. I was more further this way. So when I came out, I was able to get my bearings on, you know, where I was at.
We are standing in the downtown area, and as the winds continue to pick up, we really don't advise anyone to be out in this types of weather. approaching this area, we can tell you that there were some Royal Bahamas Defense Force officers who have recently said that they just rescued some persons out of the back of town area. And so persons are sending WhatsApp messages, and they're getting the information that needs to be out. And I want to tell you that the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, along with NEMA officials, are on the road and risking their lives to get these people into safety. Right now, you can tell that the water is actually rising. The water level is actually rising in the downtown area. There's a lot of debris that's flying around. Trees are swaying back and forth, and it really, really isn't safe to be out in these streets. So for persons that feel like they can rescue persons, leave it to the professionals. The Royal Bahamas Defense Force, along with NEMA officials, are on the road. They're getting the messages.
Residents of Abaco are now in recovery mode. They must find ways to cope with tragic loss, and unfortunately, that loss includes the loss of life. Our ZNS News team traversed the streets of Abaco for 6.5 days. One resident stood out for his continuous efforts to help his fellow brother in need. Shannon Moxie even offered our news team assistance as we braved the winds and rain of Hurricane Dorian.
You all know, you all see me on the road. I've been in this from day one, rescuing people. You understand me? I've been there 3 times. The wind was over 250, lift my truck up off the road. You understand me? Things I see I never supposed to see. Now we in trouble. Abaco is over. We can't do, the power plant is gone. There's no food stores, there's no water. Nothing.
For many Bahamians, Hurricane Dorian is remembered not by wind, speeds, or storm categories, but by the lives it changed forever. Stories like hers serve as a painful reminder of the human cost of these powerful systems. Families were separated, homes were destroyed, communities were forever altered. But as hurricanes continue to leave deeper scars across our islands, scientists and meteorologists are asking an important question. Are these storms becoming stronger? What conditions allow a hurricane to grow a tropical disturbance into a devastating force of nature? And why are recent storms producing stronger winds, heavier rainfall, and greater destruction than ever before?
The main ingredient for hurricane formation is, of course, the sea surface temperatures, the warm waters. On average, our waters in the Bahamas is roughly between 74 to 78 degrees. And for hurricanes to actually eat off of that or feed off of that is the ideal conditions. For a system to explode from that, temperatures usually are about 10 to 15 degrees warmer. And that's what we've been having for the past several years. The temperatures of the sea surface temperatures have in the Atlantic Basin are in the range of 85 to probably 86, 87, 88 degrees. Early part of the hurricane season starts to form from the African coast. It starts off as a thunderstorm in Africa. Then when that system moves off into the Atlantic Ocean, it comes across as a tropical wave. And then if the conditions are right, if the temperatures, sea surface temperatures or the warm water in the Atlantic is right, the system will start to develop from there.
When a major hurricane strikes, one of the first things many families lose is electricity. And while no utility can stop a storm, careful planning before landfall can make all the difference in how quickly communities recover. We spoke with Grand Bahama Power Company about the work happening behind the scenes before hurricane season arrives.
Grand Bahama Power Company is ensuring its inventory levels are stocked in the event a storm makes landfall. We're also ensuring our employees are aware of their roles and responsibilities in the event a storm makes landfall. Homes and families should ensure that they are prepared for an outage that may last longer than 1 to 2 hours or 1 to 2 days. They should ensure that they have batteries, radios, and ensure that they inspect all of their electrical infrastructure. Ensure there's surge protection. If there's any wires that are exposed, they want to ensure that they secure these wires, and even going as far to have an electrician inspect their home to ensure that all of their electrical hazards are identified and secured. Customers should also ensure that if there is vegetation around the home, within the power lines, they contact us to support with tree trimming, around those wires and conductors to ensure that they don't experience an outage because of vegetation getting into those lines.
Hello? What time is the flight?
No one asked us to go. Hello? Into the storm. Into the chaos. To witness devastation. No one asked us to go.
Are you ready?
Because it's the story that drives us forward. That brings truth to light. That connects us all. This is why we go.
Breaking news out of Grand Bahama. Our Raven Davis has been covering this story all day and joins us live now with the latest. Raven, what can you tell us?
Yes, Ramiko, I had a chance to speak to many of the residents, and many of them are concerned about...
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
For the first time, Taharshi Smith made the decision to stay right here in Lady Lakes and ride out the storm. Well, she says it wasn't even a few hours before hurricane...
It was the usual preparation for a storm. You know, cooking, getting everything together, made sure I had a generator. I had my flashlights, my battery, everything, all of the preparations. The neighbor agreed that they were staying, and then the neighbor across from us right behind us also said that they were going to stay. And so it felt safe. Night became normal. I dropped sleep. I woke up roughly after, I want to say it was almost midnight. And when I stepped out of the bed, there was water coming in from the back door. And I remember calling my mom, and she's like, oh, maybe because of, you know, how the wind was, it was raining and spray, and I had already lost power. So I packed it with towels. And I just started looking and maneuvering and watching, and what became just sprays in started coming and coming and coming. And then I remember checking the front door, and the front door pad finds, I figured it was just relative to the back door. In a matter of seconds, I went back to the front door, and when I looked against the wall that separated my unit from the other unit, water was coming in from underneath the baseboard, which seemed unreal. And then it started coming in through the front. And when I dashed back to the bedroom, it was at my knee. And I remember making a call to my daughter's father.
We can't get out. Our doors are jammed from the water. The canal came over on both sides. We can't even see the wall. My fridge collapsed. We can't get out. We can't even get out our windows.
Water started coming, the generator, everything started just moving. The noise was ferocious, where things was just collapsing as the water took it in a matter of seconds. And then I heard this banging through the ceiling. It was my neighbor. She said, hey, you wake, water coming in. I see you on the counter. She's like, oh, our side, heavy. We're going to try to get to your side. And they came over to my side. I opened up the front window, and they came through my side because they couldn't get through the front door. And so the door floated out to us, and we were all able to stand up on the door, the three of us, and tackle on the fascia all the way around to the garage. And at the tip of the garage, I slipped and plunged into the water. And it took me forever in my mind, because I was in distress, to hit bottom. And I can't swim, so I literally was swallowing all that gas and debris going down. And I remember when I paddled back up, my eyes was rolling over. And Toya said, this ain't no time for you to give up. You have a daughter. But it was when I looked up to try to place my feet on the top branch to get elevation, because I'm only 4'11" in height. The tree was engulfed. The pine tree. Every conceivable pine had a snake on it. The tree was covered with snakes. I remembered screaming and letting go. And when I looked, my legs were dangling, and the water started to overtake me because I was no longer holding onto the tree. And I hold on to the tree again. And I kept watching the wave hit a branch that was going to give me leverage to get up into the bell course. And I had to break a branch to hit the snake to move off of the branch that I was on, that I needed to get on. It was a stronger branch. I think one of the things that break me after the fact, where I knew that God was real, was when I came back with ZNS and look at the opening. And that opening was no way in the natural I could have fit through that.
For many survivors, Hurricane Dorian did not simply pass. It became a dividing line between the life they once knew and the life they were forced to rebuild. Long after the winds grew quiet and the floodwaters began to recede, the memories remained. The sound of homes breaking apart, the desperate fight to survive, and the impossible choices made in those darkest hours still echo years later. For Taharji Smith, survival was measured one breath at a time. Every wave she overcame became another reminder that life itself is fragile, precious, and never guaranteed. Her story is just one of thousands. Thousands of Bahamians who faced unimaginable fear, unimaginable loss, and somehow found the strength to keep going. While families fought to stay alive, another battle was unfolding. As entire communities became isolated and communication disappeared, brave men and women put themselves directly in harm's way. They launched rescue missions into devastated neighborhoods, searched flooded communities for survivors, delivered critical supplies, and became a lifeline for those with nowhere else to turn. When disasters strike, courage doesn't always come from surviving the storm. Sometimes it comes from running toward it.
The Royal Bahamas Defense Force, of course, plays a critical role in the National Disaster Response Framework, Management Framework. We are the primary responders. We are structured in such a way that we are multifaceted and multi-complex because of the nature of our roles. Once the hurricane is known and that response goes, or that alert goes out, we deploy our advanced teams, not only our advanced teams, our impact teams, and they are deployed into the disaster zone and they ride out the storm. All right, and so those persons are used for critical infrastructural security. All right, they work alongside island administrators, they work alongside other government agencies to ensure that those key aspects are secured, and also alongside the RBDF in terms of whatever assistance they may need from us. Our Marines and officers, they put themselves consistently in harm's way. Okay, and so they're trained to do this. All right, they're trained to be selfless. They're trained to understand the importance and the criticality of sacrifice. Okay, so when everybody else is battened down, they are on the road rescuing people. Our men and women who are deployed out to sea, they're on the high seas, and we might engage in hurricane avoidance, right? And we have to run from the storm. But nonetheless, once the storm is past, these men and women, they are alongside the disaster zone, and they are deploying persons to assist as first responders, rescuing people. All right? We would have had persons right here in Grand Bahama. All right? They were using buses and trucks to do just that. 4 feet of water, 5 feet of water. I have a young man here in Petty Officer Jones. He was leading the teams back then when Dorian was here. And they had to go through 4 feet, 5 feet of water. They had to turn around. They lost the first 2 vehicles. They had to go back and get a tractor to assist. And so, no care for their own. They put themselves in harm's way to do just that. I was then deployed to Abaco, and when I got on the island of Abaco, the first thing that hit me was the stench of death. I've never experienced that in my life. The next thing that hit me, I looked at the landscape and how it was just catastrophic damage. I've never seen anything like that in my life. I saw vessels, ships that was on the dock, I talk in a mile, 2 miles on the land. Churches, businesses, everything just devastated. The trees, I saw a 3 feet thick tree, twisted and then bent. I had to have been tornadoes. And so I did not recognize Abaco. All right? And so for me, I realize how powerful Mother Nature is and how frail we are, how frail our homes, our cars, so much things that we hold in so much value means nothing. Biggest thing was life. But to see the dead, and we had to move bodies, right? For me, was the biggest thing. It changed my life.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Hello. What time is the flight?
No one asked us to go. Hello? Into the storm. Into the chaos. To witness devastation. No one asked us to go.
Are you ready?
Because it's the story that drives us forward, that brings truth to light, that connects us all. This is why we go.
Breaking news out of Grand Bahama. Our Raven Davis has been covering this story all day and joins us live now with the latest. Raven, what can you tell us?
Yes, Ramiko, I had a chance to speak to many of the residents, and many of them are concerned about...
When a hurricane is days away, it's already too late to begin preparing. The strongest communities aren't built in the final hours before landfall. They're built through planning, awareness, and action long before a storm ever appears on the forecast. Year after year, emergency officials remind us that preparation is our greatest defense. Yet, many people still wait until shelves are empty, fuel lines are long, and time is running out. For those tasked with helping communities prepare for disasters, the message is simple. Don't wait for the warning. Prepare before it comes. Tammy Mitchell of the Disaster Risk Management Authority explains why early preparedness can make all the difference.
One of the biggest mistakes I would have seen over the years is the lack of preparation. And along with the lack of preparation, you know, a lot of news stories would be covering the events leading up to a storm beforehand. For example, we have the Department of Meteorology, we have ZNS, of course, and the other media stations who would be sharing the information, but the lack of preparedness also falls on the community and the residents themselves for not focusing on what is important. We tell the stories of persons telling them what to do before, during, and after. But when you look at it, are they really doing it? And I've seen going through communities that persons start to prepare when they seriously think they're going to get hit. But that's not the time you should be preparing. Everybody is aware when hurricane season starts, June 1. But I say to people, prepare from January 1. because then it gives you that lead time to make any necessary corrections or repairs that you would be needing before the hurricane season.
When the storm has passed and the floodwaters have disappeared, the journey to recovery is only beginning. While homes, roads, and communities can be rebuilt, the emotional impact often remains long after the physical damage is cleared away. Disasters leave more than broken buildings. They can leave fear, grief, anxiety, and uncertainty in the hearts of those who lived through them. Healing those invisible wounds is just as important as rebuilding what was lost. For many, that healing begins with understanding the emotional effects of trauma. For others, it is strengthened by hope, faith, and the support of a community that refuses to give up. Together, these perspectives remind us that true recovery isn't measured only by what we rebuild, but by how we heal.
We often boast that we are a strong set of people. We often refer to ourselves as resilient. And I think the other factor that plays into that is our faith, because I often ask people that I would come into contact with, what is it that makes you so strong? What is the source of your strength? And the answer almost always is my faith.
Looking back today, what message would you share with other families who's lost everything and are trying to start over? Because there are some people who have not recovered, since what they've lost and starting.
Well, I'm one of those who haven't recovered all, and I may not. What is absolute certain? That they still have life. Wherever life is, another opportunity exists. You just gotta dig in, shake yourself off, and keep going. I say that because some people lost their lives. They're no more. So the fact that you've been spared, opportunities exist. You just gotta pull your bootstraps up and tell yourself, I'm gonna carry on. If the sun rises tomorrow, that's an opportunity for me to go to work. And rest assured, you have what Dorian didn't take, his life. And so I say to persons who may be discouraged and feel hopeless, and find God in the midst of your despair. Ain't never going nowhere. Find Him, love on Him, thank Him for a couple of things, life, health, and strength. Just keep going.
Storms will come again. That is the reality of living in these islands we proudly call home. We cannot control the path of a hurricane, but we can choose how we prepare, how we respond, and how we stand together when the skies grow dark. The stories you've heard tonight are more than memories. They are lessons written through sacrifice, through courage, and through survival. They remind us that preparedness saves lives, that courage reveals itself in ordinary people doing extraordinary things, that healing takes time, and that even after unimaginable loss, hope can still rise. Because the true strength of the Bahamas has never been measured by the storms we've endured, it has always been measured by the resilience of our people. So as another hurricane season begins, let us not wait until the warnings are issued. Let us prepare today. Protect the people we love. Look out for our neighbors. And remember that while every storm eventually passes, the decisions we make before it arrives can change lives forever. I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Thank you for joining us for Before the Storm. May God continue to bless and protect our beautiful Bahamas.